When your dog looks at you, what do they really see? Most people believe dogs see us as their owners, the people who feed them, or simply the person they love most. But science has uncovered something far more profound. After more than 150,000 years living alongside humans, dogs have evolved in a way unlike any other animal. They did not just learn how to live with us, they learned how to understand us. When you point at an object, your dog knows what you mean. Even wolves raised by humans from an early age struggle to do this as naturally as dogs. That means that to your dog, you are not just another human being. You are the person their entire existence was shaped to seek out. And what they do when you leave the house makes this story even more touching. Stay with me until the end of the video to discover why. And if that is true, if your dog really spends its entire life trying to understand and connect with you, then what happens when you leave the house? Most people assume that dogs simply miss their owners, but what scientists have discovered goes much deeper than that. Just minutes after their owner leaves, a dog's stress levels begin to rise, their heart rate changes, their body shifts into a mild state of alertness, as if waiting for something important to happen. But what is truly remarkable is this. When researchers play recordings of the owner's voice, those stress levels often drop almost immediately. Not just any voice, the voice of the person they love most. And the same thing happens with your scent. In studies examining the canine brain, scientists found that the scent of an owner activates the brain's reward center more strongly than almost any other smell. That means, when you leave for work, school, or simply step out for a few hours, your dog is not just waiting for you to come home. They are holding on to your voice, your scent, and every memory of you in the ways their body knows how. But perhaps the strangest discovery of all is this. Even when you do not say a single word, your dog can still sense when your emotions begin to change, and that is only when you are away. What is even more remarkable is that even when you are standing right in front of them, your dog is constantly watching you in ways most people never realize. Scientists have discovered that dogs are exceptionally good at reading human facial expressions. They do not just see whether you are smiling or feeling sad. They can detect subtle changes in your face that sometimes even you are not consciously aware of. That is why there are days when you try to act like everything is fine. You do not cry, you do not complain, you do not tell anyone that you are exhausted. Yet your dog quietly walks over, rests their head on your leg or curls up beside you. Not because they guessed, but because they noticed something in your expression. Over thousands of years of evolving alongside humans, dogs have learned to observe our emotions as an essential part of understanding the world around them. Every glance, every frown, every smile carries meaning to them. And when your dog comes to comfort you on your hardest days, perhaps it is not a coincidence at all. Perhaps it is a choice. But the fascinating part is that dogs do not communicate only through what they see. They have been talking to you every single day in a language that very few people truly understand. But what truly amazes scientists is not just that dogs can recognize your emotions, it is how they do it. Research suggests that dogs pay far more attention to human faces than most people realize. They focus especially on our eyes, our expressions, and the subtle changes that pass across our faces. That is why there are moments when you have not said a single word, yet your dog already knows that something is wrong. You may be trying to smile, trying to stay strong, telling everyone around you that everything is fine, but the dog lying beside you seems to notice a different story. They quietly walk over, rest their head on your leg, or simply sit a little closer than usual, not because they were trained to do so, but because thousands of years of living alongside humans have shaped dogs into remarkable readers of our emotions. They do not just see a face, they see the feelings behind it. And perhaps that is why your dog sometimes understands your emotional state faster than the people around you do. If your dog has ever appeared beside you at exactly the moment you needed comfort most, comment the number 1 below, because the next discovery is even more astonishing. As it turns out, your dog's tail has been telling you an entire story every single day. But dogs do not just read your emotions, they are also trying to communicate with you every single day. The problem is that most of us have never learned their language. Think about a dog's tail. Most people assume that when a dog wags its tail, it simply means it is happy. But science suggests the truth is far more complex. What matters is not just whether the tail is wagging, it is also which direction the movement favors. Researchers have found that when dogs see someone they love, their tail movements often lean more toward the right side. This response is associated with positive emotions, excitement, and a sense of security. On the other hand, when dogs encounter something that makes them anxious or cautious, their tail movements tend to shift more toward the left. What is even more remarkable is this: other dogs understand these signals too. They can read one another's emotional state simply by watching the way a tail moves. But that is not the whole story. A tail held high and wagging rapidly often signals confidence, enthusiasm, and engagement. A lower tail moving more slowly can indicate uncertainty, submission, or discomfort. In other words, every time your dog rushes to greet you at the door, every time they look at you and their tail starts wagging uncontrollably, it is not a mindless reflex. It is a message, a sentence without words, a way of saying, "I'm happy you're home. I feel safe when you're here. I trust you." And what makes all of this even more extraordinary is that these signals do not come from emotion alone. They are rooted in an incredibly powerful biological bond between dogs and humans. The next discovery reveals why something as simple as making eye contact with your dog can trigger chemical changes in both of your brains. And everything we have talked about so far, the way your dog remembers your scent, the way they read emotions on your face, or the excitement they feel when you come home, all of it leads to an even more astonishing discovery. Your dog's brain actually changes when they look at you. In 2015, a groundbreaking study captured the attention of scientists around the world. Researchers found that when dogs and their owners gaze into each other's eyes for even a short period of time, both experience a release of oxytocin. Oxytocin is often called the bonding hormone. It is the same chemical that helps create the powerful connection between a mother and her child during the earliest stages of life. It plays a key role in feelings of love, trust, and emotional attachment. Take a moment and think about that. Your dog looks into your eyes, and their brain responds in a way remarkably similar to how a baby's brain responds when looking at its mother. But perhaps even more surprising is that the effect works both ways. It is not only your dog who feels more connected to you. Your own brain is also strengthening its bond with them. This is not something dog lovers merely imagine. It is not the result of projecting human emotions onto animals. It is a real biological response. A powerful emotional feedback loop taking place every day between you and your four-legged companion. Perhaps that is why seeing your dog rush to greet you after a long day can instantly make you feel better. Perhaps that is why, during your loneliest moments, their presence brings a sense of comfort that is difficult to explain. Because to your dog, you are not simply the person who fills their food bowl, not just the one who takes them for walks, not merely their owner. You are the being their entire nervous system has been shaped to seek out. And that is what makes the ending of this story so meaningful. So, after everything science has discovered, perhaps the most important question is not how your dog sees you, but whether you truly understand what you mean to them. You are not just the person who fills their bowl every day, not just the one who takes them for walks, not simply their owner. You are the place they turn to when they need to feel safe, the face they search for in a crowd, the voice that calms them, the scent that makes their brain feel rewarded and at peace. And perhaps the most beautiful part of all is this: to your dog, you have never been just another human being. You are their entire world, and every day spent by your side is another day that world feels complete.